What up, Accountable Sports fans? We're back at it, and we're talking about football.
Football and the Buffalo Bills. Oh, it feels good to talk about the Bills.
Yes, it does. It's my favorite sport. I mean, it just...
I could talk to you for hours about them.
Yeah, right? Like, I don't get tired of it.
Yeah.
I love researching it. Mm-hmm. Whereas NBA, MLB, I
enjoy talking about it, watching the games. But yeah, you're right. Talking about football.
It just, there's something about it for me.
Yeah.
Like, if I had to break up, like, the sports in my heart, like, 50% is, like, football. Yeah. And then, like, the other 50 is, like, the other sports.
Right. Yeah,
like,
it's the other
UFC, NBA, NHL, MLB. It's, like, split up in, like, football is my real love.
Oh, yeah.
So, we got players reporting to trading caps.
Yep. People that opted out.
Yep. People that opted out and how that's going to, like, affect the season. And, I mean, New England Patriots lost a third of their roster. Yeah. A third of their starters.
And not only that, yeah, it was starters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the Dolphins, they said, had quite a few.
A couple wide receivers.
Yeah. You got C.J. Mosley from the Jets. So, in 2 years, he's going to play a total of 2 games for the New York Jets, getting paid like top linebacker.
Yeah, but with him opting out, he doesn't get paid.
Right.
Right.
So the Jets have to eat that for a year longer, which linebacker position is not very favored.
They opt out. That doesn't like. Yes, you didn't get paid this year, but their contract still pushes it gets pushed back.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's on like a longer contract, getting paid more money a year older. So it'll be interesting.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
You're right, because being away from the game for 2 years, what does that affect you?
Right.
I mean, sometimes like you could think it, but your body reaction, especially those 2 years. I mean, we saw it with Le'Veon Bell. And I know Le'Veon, the New York Jets offensive line wasn't what the Pittsburgh Steelers were.
Yeah.
But still, you could just tell Le'Veon Bell just didn't have that one step like he did in Pittsburgh.
And Le'Veon Bell has a very distinct running style, and it's a running style I've literally never seen in my life. In the patience that he has, stutter stepping in the backfield and then making the one cut and going.
Right.
Whereas like most running backs, you hand it off to them and they're like immediately trying to find the hole and going. Whereas he's stutter stepping, letting things block out, letting things
work its magic, and then making that move.
And then he goes, and where with a worse offensive line,
you don't see that.
He just it wasn't having the same success. So it's almost his running style.
And I mean, when you're losing, you don't play your best.
Right.
The Steelers were winning.
Right. Absolutely.
You just get into a rhythm.
Yep. So speaking of the Jets offensive line, the Buffalo Bills signed Brian Winters,
which. Going forward, like John Feliciano had a
torn
pec when he was lifting.
Yep.
Big hurt.
Yeah.
Because John Feliciano started, if not 16 games, I think he was out there for all 16 games.
Yeah, definitely out there for all 16 games. And what he brought to that offensive line that other players on the other 5 or other 4 don't was a nasty. When I think of John Feliciano, I think of it like a Richie Incognito. Just if somebody cheap shot or late hits my quarterback, I
knew Feliciano was there to help out.
Yeah. Like, if I had to compare it, the Pouncey for the Steelers. Yeah. Like, if my quarterback all of a sudden got his head ripped off by Myles Garrett, I'm putting money on
the Feliciano's
doing what Pouncey did. And I love that in offensive linemen. And so that is going to be a big loss.
I think it's a bigger loss than what more people are putting on him.
Yeah.
Because Feliciano came from the Oakland Raiders. The Oakland Raiders weren't a successful team.
Yeah. So he had very little.
Yeah. No one really thought much of him. I mean, I didn't think of him last year as a starter. I thought he was just. Right?
Yeah. Had no idea who he was.
Feliciano, sweet.
Yeah,
good.
right.
But he came out and played strong.
Yep.
I think it's a big loss.
Yep.
And then after the signing, we cut Spencer Long. We're going to get into it. But what do you think of Brian Winters?
Brian Winters. I think he's going to come in and definitely be your replacement at right guard, but I still see it as an open competition. Like, if I was the GM or the head coach, I would still have it as an open competition, being, here's my opportunity to see if Cody Ford is a better right guard than right tackle.
See, I'm the polar opposite.
Are you?
Yeah.
Because, I have not high hopes for Darrell Williams or even Trey Adams, but I just think, Cody Ford, to me, for some reason in my mind, and I don't know if it's because of media talk or like that, but his struggles at right tackle, and so you're trying to project him. What can he be in 4 years? What are you re-signing him at? And I see him almost like a Deion Dawkins type, an average good right tackle.
Yeah.
Whereas if you move him inside, is it a possibility he could be a Pro Bowler with his athleticism and being 6'4", 6'5"? So that's why I think I would still have the open competition. Like Brian Winters is the number one guy, but if Cody Ford comes in here, starts embarrassing himself at right tackle against Mario Addison.
I think the biggest issue we're going to see is we don't have these preseason games now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's another big thing. We're going right into week 1.
Yeah.
And I think with Cody Ford finishing off the season at right tackle. Now, do I think he played as well as Ty Nashashki did at some points?
Mm-hmm.
Ty Nashashki is a proven veteran.
Yeah.
He's had that. He's faced against that talent before.
Yeah.
This is Cody Ford's first
year.
Rookie year.
Yep.
Second round draft pick. Like, if you would tell me that we were going to draft a second round draft pick, and do I think he's going to be a quality starter right away? No. There's a reason why he was a second round draft pick.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah, your quality starters right away are round 1.
Yeah. Round 1. Yeah. Pick 1 through 18 to 20. I expect you to be a day 1 starter.
Yep.
Sadly, but I do. Nowadays, I do.
Absolutely.
When you draft later than that, it's like, oh, there's that potential, or maybe Again, I thought Cody Ford was going to be a starter. I just didn't think right away like we did.
Yeah.
But we did. And it showed that he was a rookie.
Yeah, it definitely showed he was a rookie.
I think with the injury, no preseason games, I think Cody Ford stays at right tackle.
Yeah.
I think you see that weird rotation with Ty Nashashki some still.
Yeah.
And then right guard, I think it's Brian Winters. But again, I think you're right. I think we're going to do that open competition.
Yeah. Open competition, but Winters is the starter.
Yeah, but Winter comes in and plays that first 11 on 11.
Yeah, definitely. And then
he's got that start. He's played 59 games with the Jets.
Yeah,
I know he's got a little bit of bad vibe. I mean, again, he's kind of giving me that same vibe that Feliciano did.
Yeah,
Feliciano didn't get re-signed by the Oakland Raiders.
Yep.
He didn't get cut like he did with Brian Winters.
Yeah.
But I didn't know anything in him. I knew the Oakland Raiders didn't have the best offensive line. Yep. I know the New York Jets had the 4th worst offensive line. Yep. But again, if you don't hear from a guard, you're doing your job.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I feel like the Jets' tackles were their biggest issue.
That's what I thought too.
And they tried to solve that issue, but then they cut Brian Winters, and we're going to try to plug him in as a starter. So it's just going to be interesting to see how that all meshes.
Yeah.
And you're right. I mean, if you make Cody Ford a right guard, that means you're replacing right guard and right tackle.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
In a short season.
With a short season, I think that you have that. Mitch, if you bring in Brian Winters, you have Mitch Morse right next to him.
Yep.
And as a quality starter, as Mitch Morse is, he's been in the league.
Yep.
He's been with the Bills for now a year.
Yep.
I think that you could plug him in at guard.
Yep.
And be fine with Mitch Morse right next to him.
Yep,
Cody Ford still, he's got that 1 year experience.
Yep.
I expect you to know the offense and help out someone new now.
Yeah, I hope he makes a big stride in year 2, but if he doesn't, man, I would not hesitate to pulling him and putting him at guard, and then trying Darrell Williams or Ty Nashashki.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if you see Ty Nashashki doing that. I bet I wouldn't put it past Darrell Williams being your backup left tackle.
Yeah,
and just there you go. And then I think with the Spencer Long cut, I think we cut him because Brian Winters is a better starter.
Yeah,
and Spencer Long has not been what we hoped he could be.
Yeah, I mean...
And I'm not saying he should have been a quality starter. We knew we were bringing him in to be a rotational guy.
Yeah, but we never brought him in the rotation.
No.
And as a backup center, last year, Feliciano was the backup
center. That's what I'm saying. You could clearly see that he didn't...
Spencer Long was low down on that depth chart. And, they have Evan Boehm that they picked up in April that they kept over Spencer Long.
Yep.
And Ryan Bates, Penn Stater.
Yep.
We picked him up, I think, on a Monday or Tuesday from the Eagles, and he started that Saturday at center for us. I think he was playing backup center for us because this is when Morris was still hurt, so Feliciano was playing starting center. But then that first rotation of guys, Bates was 3 days in the building. Bates was the backup center of Feliciano, not long. So, I feel like, to be honest with you, the writing was almost on the door.
Yeah, I just expected it sooner.
The wall. Yeah.
Yeah, not or unless we were trying to do another Bodine trade.
Yeah.
Like we did with the Patriots.
I could definitely have seen that.
I can see, I don't know. McDermott and Beane's got some weird things that they do.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I'm surprised like we didn't try to do anything with like the Eagles when that Brooks went down. I mean, here's Long or here's
maybe the Eagles weren't desperate for him. I mean, like they probably saw the writings on the wall. Like, that's weird.
Yeah. Instead, they re-signed Jason Peters, and from what I've heard, that they're gonna play Jason Peters at guard.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that's a big guard.
He was a big guy that played great.
Yeah, used to be a tight end for the Bills.
Yeah. Undrafted tight end.
Yeah.
I think from Arkansas State.
I think you're right. It was definitely Arkansas something. Yeah. And it was fun watching him on kickoffs.
I don't
remember that.
running
down and be like, what is going on here?
And then became he could a bookend left tackle for the Eagles that potentially could make the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
And he was a kickoff guy for the Buffalo Bills.
Yep. And we traded him for a first-round pick. Who
but he didn't want to be a Bill.
Yeah.
He made it known.
Yep.
We weren't winning.
Yeah. We weren't going to give him big money, and the Eagles were willing to give him big money.
It just didn't end up right for us. Same thing with like Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah. So many Hall of Famers start their careers in Buffalo during our tumultuous times. So, but then and now you have who just got cut? Oh, the undrafted Williams running back just got cut. I know some people were hoping to let go of TJ Yeldon and have this guy come in, or Christian Wade come in.
Yeah.
And I mean, that just shows you like what this season is. These undrafted guys just aren't going to get the opportunities with no preseason games.
Especially Christian Wade. And I know a lot of Bills Mafia want this guy to be successful. I want him to be successful.
He had one run, though.
He's a nice story.
Yeah.
It's
a nice story, but
great rugby player, wants to go in the NFL.
Yeah.
I think he still makes our team for another year.
Yeah, because he doesn't count.
He's going to stick in that one weird spot where we're paying you $250,000 probably to be here. You're that European roster spot that they're trying to fill up with the NFL. Problem is next year's going to be like 29 or 30.
30, yeah. Next year he's going to be 30. I think he's 29 this year.
That's when they kind of get rid of running backs.
Yeah.
And I know you're a special athlete. Not saying that he doesn't have that wear and tear like most of these football players do. But rugby's not a soft sport.
Right. He has rugby wear and tear. We don't even know what that means.
I know. As an American, we don't even know what that means.
Right? It's like, is that worse? Is that better?
Right? I don't know.
Would I rather have you been run back this whole time?
But I think it's just going to be interesting. I think the biggest scare for me was when Tre'Davious White was thinking about he was opting out.
Yeah. Yeah. So, luckily...
So, what were you thinking about it? Because I had some thoughts about it.
To be honest with you, my thoughts were, you do you. There's Logan Ryan sitting in free agency.
Why is he still, to me...
If we lost Logan Ryan, Mick Bean better have had him on speed dial.
Yeah.
What do you want for this year? And we would have missed a beat. Don't get me wrong. Tre'Davious White, just in my mind, won us Miami Dolphins, the
Cincinnati Bengals,
the Cincinnati Bengals, and the Pittsburgh Steelers. He won us 3 games. And you take those 3 games away, you're sitting at 7-9.
Mm-hmm.
You're not making the playoffs, and we're not thinking as highly about this
season.
Probably. Whereas instead we finished off 10-6 because of those plays by Tre'Davious White, late interceptions.
That defensive playmaker,
yeah,
which now we put into him.
Yeah. So, to be honest with you, it actually would have been an interesting...
He would have been the biggest name to opt out.
Oh, yeah. But definitely the biggest name to opt out. But it would have been an interesting to see how we would have recovered and to see how, going back to one of our earlier videos, pass rush versus pass coverage.
Yeah.
Because if you lose Tre'Davious White, you had top corner, and then on the opposite side of that, you got an aging Josh Norman and a Levi Wallace. That is, and you have a better pass rush this year, whereas our defense got sacks because of our coverage,
which we talked about.
Yeah. It would have been interesting. It would have bring that all back up, but I wasn't too worried just because everyone is going to be in the same boat with players opting out. I mean, you can't do anything about it.
Yeah. I think once you're a player, you're always a player. Looking at him, he's always going to want to play. This is what I was scared of. He's on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
This, you're not making what that guy that Dolphins just paid.
Which one?
Byron Jones.
Byron Jones, yeah.
Yeah, he was going to pay 17 to 18 million.
Yeah.
He's making hundreds of thousands, if not a couple million.
Yep.
Like, to me, like, if he was going to sit out a year, I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Like, when he went out there and said, like, well, I have a younger kid.
Yeah.
And then in the back of my head, I'm like, well, he's not making as much.
Yeah, definitely. I didn't even think about that.
Like, I get it.
Yeah. But then you would have been a year
farther
away.
A year farther away
from getting that new contract because, but I mean, that would have been, he would have then had to be re-signed during like Josh Allen and Tremaine Edmonds' time.
And not just that, you're 27, 26 when he gets that contract.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, and I think with him, I think he's excited for the year.
Yeah. I think he is too.
I mean,
I think he's excited to have a presence like Josh Norman on the other side, whereas I bet you he sees more balls this year just because I think Josh Norman is going to play better than Levi Wallace.
So you think Josh Norman's going to be the number 2?
Yeah, I think Josh Norman's going to be the number 2, and because Josh Norman's name is over there versus Levi Wallace's name, you may see more throws towards Tre'Davious White, even though he's still covering the number 1. It's like I'd rather throw the ball at my number 1 against their number 1 corner versus my number 2 wide receiver. Not a lot of NFL teams have a good number 2 wide receiver.
I mean,
like the Buffalo Bills have one of the best wide receiver duos, and John Brown's our number 2. I mean,
right, with Cole Beasley our 3.
Yeah. So I mean, with Josh Norman covering your number 2, as an opposing team, I might take more chances with my number 1 wide receiver.
Right. Yeah. I think the biggest thing I take out of this opting out, like when I was thinking about the Bills playing against the AFC East, out of 6 games, 4, like to me, in my mind, 4 wins. I think the Dolphins would have been a tricky game to play. The Dolphins are weirdly okay.
Yeah.
You know, they played strong.
Coached well.
They're coached well.
Yep.
They got a little bit of that New England Patriots coaching staff over there.
Yeah.
They got some players. They got 2
shutdown corners.
Yeah. Like, that's a team that I'm like, eh.
Yep.
And I just thought, like, the Jets are weirdly scary. We always play one game kind of against them.
Play them tough.
Yeah.
Or they play us tough.
And then the Patriots. So, like, in my mind, it was 4 games. Now with the amount of players that are opting out, like the Dolphins, okay, you have Devontae Parker. Albert Wilson and that other wide receiver are not playing.
Yep.
Like, to me, guard Parker.
Yeah.
You have Gesicki. Okay, Gesicki came off strong at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I'm a pretty big fan of him.
Yep.
But again, you're going to guard Parker.
Yeah.
Your running back is Jordan Howard, who's a big, thick back.
Yep.
You don't really have
ran us over last year.
Yeah, who ran us over
against the Eagles.
I think now my number's 5 games.
Yeah.
Like, I think to make a big chance of this playoffs, like if you go 6-0 in your division, that's huge.
Yeah, that's.
And I don't think now it's out of the picture. Like, I can't see us why we wouldn't.
Yeah.
Like, C.J. Mosley's out. Jamal Adams is traded. You cut Brian Winters. And your biggest offensive threat is that little wide receiver they signed from the Redskins.
No, not Andre Roberts. Yeah.
He caught like 13 balls the week 1 against us.
Yeah, but it didn't matter because they still couldn't score.
Right. And
they cut Quincy Enunwa.
Right. They cut Quincy Enunwa.
Who always gave us fits because he was
big, thick wide receiver.
Big, thick wide receiver. And Tre'Davious is 5'10".
Right. And their tight end is... I keep thinking it's Chris Hernan, but he wasn't there all last year.
Is it Leggett?
No. Oh, my God. It's going to bother me. Ryan Griffin.
Yep.
Yeah. So, like, the Jets, if we lose a game to the Jets, to me, it's a letdown.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
definitely a letdown. Just because of everything that's going on in New York.
Right.
With Adam Gase and the players essentially revolting against the head coach.
Mm-hmm. Like, to me, those 2 games should be guaranteed for us.
Yeah.
The Patriots, they lost huge pieces in the defense.
My God.
Like
Dante Hightower.
Yeah. Calvin Noy's gone.
Yep. Chung is gone.
Yeah. Damian Shelton?
Danny Shelton?
I don't know. Didn't he sign with the Lions?
Yes, he's gone.
Like,
he's out of
there's
the
a
middle.
lot of pieces that are missing, and then you take Tom Brady out of the picture.
Yep.
Gronkowski, I know, wasn't there last year, but again, he could have been there.
Yeah.
Like, to me, that should be 2 wins.
Yeah. I'm not scared of Julian Edelman,
Sony Michel, and
Mohamed Sanu.
I don't know who your quarterback's going to be.
Yeah. Cam Newton or Jared
I think it's
Stidham.
going to be Cam Newton, but Cam Newton doesn't scare me.
No. He is now 5 years removed from his MVP year. So people that think highly of Cam Newton being another MVP candidate, 5 years in the NFL is a lifetime.
Yeah.
Like your average NFL span is 3 years.
Right.
It is 2 years removed of the average NFL player.
Right. So now with me thinking about that, I think we go minimum 5-1. We lose that one weird game to the Dolphins.
Yeah.
In my head, I still do.
Yep.
But we really should be 6-0. You go 6-0. You go 10-6 in the season.
Yeah.
You go 4-6 in the other season.
Yeah.
In the other games. I know it sucks, but that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you go 4-6 in the regular, you go 6-0 in your division.
Yeah.
You're fine.
Consider a wrap, and especially with the schedule that we have. I mean, we're playing the NFC West. Like that's a tough division.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Cardinals are up and coming. The Rams were 10-6, and the Seahawks and 49ers were fighting for the NFC Championship.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, what are we talking about here? You know, I mean, like that team, like that division.
And then our other
loaded.
non-conference game is the Tennessee Titans.
Yep, another playoff team last year went to the AFC Championship.
Yep, and then we have the AFC West with the Chiefs, Broncos, Chargers.
Yep,
like it's
and Raiders.
Yeah, it's a tough schedule.
Yeah,
and I thought last year's was a tough schedule. Just teams didn't pan out like they used to.
Yeah, teams definitely didn't play
but
to what we thought.
I think that if we line up some games right,
yeah,
I think it's going to be. I think that we should go 5-1 in the season, and then between 4-6 and 5-5 in the non-conference, we end up 10-6. That's my new record. That's my new thing.
That's a good one.
Pending injuries, I think Feliciano's is a big loss.
Yeah.
But I think Brian Winters takes over pretty much exactly what Feliciano is.
Yeah, I mean, you're losing a little continuity, and especially with the off-season, you're only getting 4 weeks together to build that continuity, which I know means a lot on an offensive line. So it's going to be interesting to see how fast Brian Winters picks that up, because he's not even in the building yet, because for signing him, he has to come through 3 negative coronavirus tests. Yeah. So I don't even think he's been in the building yet to meet the guys.
No. He's probably doing a lot of Zoom meetings.
Yeah. But being in person is a lot different.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. So, and then our opt-outs, Star Lotulelei and EJ Gaines. So, I mean, it would have hurt a lot if Tre'Davious opted out and then EJ Gaines. I mean, all of a sudden you're real thin at corner.
I don't know. To me, EJ Gaines, we signed him on a 1-year deal. We have Taron Johnson. We have Levi Wallace.
Yeah.
Josh Norman. You'll probably move down Johnson or Hyde to corner if we really got desperate and play one of those guys to safety.
Saran Neal plays that big nickel.
That's what I'm saying. It's kind of like, to me, EJ Gaines wasn't a big. Star Lotulelei, I think, is a bigger loss than what most people are putting down.
I don't know. Our defensive line is going to have such a large rotation because we're 9 deep.
Yeah.
That, we're 8 deep
I
now.
I agree with you.
Yeah.
But, I don't know. He's a big guy.
Yeah.
Doesn't get the recognition that he gets.
Yeah.
Does plug up a lot of holes. But again, he was out there with the Eagles, and the Eagles ran all over us.
Yeah.
So
Eagles ran all over us. Now you got Vernon Butler, who's bigger than Star Lotulelei, and you got Harrison Phillips.
Harrison Phillips back.
Yep.
Ed Oliver.
You got Quentin Jefferson running and defensive tackle. So yeah, it's definitely
But you're right. We were lucky enough that we signed people in free agency where that is not as big of a loss as it could have been.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. I mean, some people
and then Ed Oliver not getting any kind of legal issues.
Yeah,
that was even a bigger.
Yep. Yeah, and that just goes to show you media paints bad pictures.
In my head, that whole Ed Oliver thing.
Yeah.
Ed Oliver was drunk. Ed Oliver owned a pistol that he shouldn't, or not owned, was carrying a pistol that he shouldn't have been carrying, and he was on some kind of drugs.
Yeah, because that's what the media portrayed. But pistols in his name, and in Texas, you can do whatever he was doing with pistol.
But they only gave him that ticket is because they thought he was drunk.
Right.
And because he was drunk, if you were drunk
with a pistol,
that's why they give you that.
Yeah.
I had to look when I read that.
Yeah. Whereas the beer can was a spit can, which we've seen that a lot. The people just take the spit can and
But here you go. Use a different bottle.
Yeah, use a different container.
So people use a Pepsi bottle, a Mountain Dew, Gatorade.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
What do you think a cop's going to think with you going and setting it down?
Yeah.
I get why the cop thought that.
Yeah. But, I mean, he blew a 0, which was not released at the beginning. And how's that not released at the beginning? Yeah. Everyone on Bill's Twitter was painting him why are you drinking?
Yeah.
So young.
I'm telling you, instantly in my head, Marcel Darius.
Yeah.
Instantly.
Yep.
Oh, God.
Or what Quinnen Williams is facing for the Jets.
Yeah.
And, like, here it is. Like, he blows a 0 and he's using it as a spit cannon. It's like...
And not only that, they tested him and he tested negative for 22 different drug types.
Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, I work as
as clean as
I work
a
as
whistle.
a registered nurse. We test, and it pops up for everything that... I mean, if you're on benzos or anything, it pops up for everything.
Yeah.
And it shows that he wasn't on any drugs.
Yeah.
So, hey, I painted you a bad picture. I apologize for that. But
yeah. And the worst thing is, did you hear anything about in the media about it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. That it was nothing.
Yeah. You hear about the bad, but you never hear like, oh, by the way, we got it wrong.
Yeah. No.
Like that's another part of the reason why we do this show,
right.
just to bring accountability to media.
Yeah. I mean, we
talked nothing.
Right. We talked about the Yankees. We talked about our wild card picks.
Yeah.
I went out and said Jordan Montgomery hasn't been doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
That was my pick.
Yeah.
It's just
again with the Yankees. I mean, I know this is a Bills video, but I mean with the Yankees, Miguel Andujar with the fielding.
Yeah. We didn't talk about that. We should do a little video on that one.
We should. Next video. If you have any thoughts about Miguel Andujar being a bad fielder, wait till you listen to us on our next video because it is surprising what the media paints versus what actually happens when you look up stats.
Not just media, it's media, it's entertainment, it's video games.
Yeah.
Like if they put in their, I mean, how many times do you go and play a Bills on Madden?
Yeah.
And like, no.
Yeah, Jordan Poyer's like an 81, but you look up his stats and they're better than Jamal Adams, who's a 95. It's like, come on.
Come on, dude. Right, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, it's interesting how the media and everyone portrays players.
Yeah. And
especially.
We take the media at their word, and you shouldn't.
No.
So yeah, no, I'm excited for this Bills season. We'll have a fantasy episode coming up too because that's coming around the corner. I mean,
because your draft's going to be starting.
Yeah, a couple weeks.
Because like
with no preseason games.
No preseason game. I mean, this is huge. I mean, players like we wait. Normally, we wait for our drafts 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks into preseason. Normally?
Yeah, especially 2 weeks of preseason games.
Yeah,
and then we do our drafts because there's always that weird injury.
Yeah.
Now there's not going to be that weird injury up until week 1.
Yeah, or you're not even going to get good looks at rookies and like. Your rookies aren't going to go as high.
Your rookies aren't going to go as high as you're normally. Pending your
Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's the starting running back, who's Damian Williams has opted out, so he's still going to be number 1.
Right. I'm talking about like those keeper leagues, those dynasty leagues. Like we're talking about if you're going in there for your drafting number 1 pick.
Yeah.
Like those rookies aren't going to go as high.
Yeah.
As you normally see it.
Right.
No.
Like for instance, Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
Justin Jefferson, I mean, you would think in a normal season he would have not comparable numbers to Stephon Diggs, but very good numbers because he's taking over number 1, number 2.
Well, you would think so.
With Adam Thielen.
Right.
With no preseason games and 4 weeks of training camp.
Especially like when I look at Michael Zimmer. Like, I see him be like,
I'm going to run the ball.
I'm going to run the ball.
Yep.
And by week 3, I might consider you as a starter.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be very interesting to see when these drafts take.
Oh, yeah. And, again, with the coronavirus opt-outs, like, Devin Funchess would have been an interesting pick as a number 2 Green Bay Packers wide receiver.
That 7th to 10th round of you drafting players. Like now it's like...
Marcus Scantlin or whatever his name is.
Every year people draft him and he doesn't show up.
Right. Yeah. But, like, he would have been, like, that number 2 guy, but he opted out. So
I know. I was surprised with that one.
Yeah. So look out for those videos, the Miguel Andujar video for the Yankees and our fantasy takes as our draft comes around. And when we do our draft, we'll make a video on our draft and we'll compare rosters and see how that's going.
Yeah, we'll do like mock things. It'll be enjoyable.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. So follow us, subscribe to us, like the video, share it, let your friends know. We'll see ya.
See you guys.